Governments love to talk to you about economic freedom. They speak of stability. They talk about growth. They promise opportunities. But throughout history, there is one repeating truth. States have often set up financial mechanisms behind these claims that channel wealth upwards. This is not a new situation. The same methods have been used for centuries. Only the names change, the justifications change, but the goal has always been the same: to direct the value created by the majority's labor toward a small elite. The oldest and simplest of these mechanisms is inflation. When a government spends more than it collects in taxes, it has two options. The first, to impose taxes openly. This is politically risky. The second is quieter, to reduce the value of money. Most people don't notice this. Ancient Rome is a classic example. In the 3rd century AD, faced with increasing military expenses, emperors began reducing the silver content of the denarius coin. Once nearly pure silver, over time it became mostly copper with only a thin silver coating. The state claimed the coins retained their full value. But the truth was different. People's savings vanished. Inflation rose. Wages lagged behind. Purchasing power fell. It was not an openly declared tax. It was a silent transfer of wealth. A similar process is happening today. The only difference, the mint has been replaced by central banks. When the money supply expands, the purchasing power of currency drops. Those most affected are people on fixed incomes. In the Middle Ages, the pressure was more direct. Forced loans were common in England, in France, in Spain. Rulers ordered wealthy merchants to lend money to the crown. It wasn't voluntary. Refusal meant punishment. Repayment promises were made, but often payments were delayed, or made with devalued currency, or never made at all. This coercion was presented as a patriotic duty, and it worked. By the 17th century, the financial system became more institutionalized. In 1694, the Bank of England was founded. But this was not an act of charity. The purpose was war. Wealthy investors lent money to the government. The state guaranteed the interest on these loans through taxes. Who paid these taxes? Ordinary people. On salt, on beer, on essential goods. The wealthy earned risk-free returns. The public financed these gains. In modern times, these mechanisms have become more complex. Governments cover budget deficits by issuing bonds. This is presented to the public as an investment, but the bulk of the money goes to large corporations, the defense industry, and financial bailout packages. When repayment time comes, cuts aren't made where it matters most. Taxes rise, currency loses value. Social spending is reduced. The 2008 financial crisis was a striking example. Banks took risks, they lost, and they were bailed out. The cost fell on taxpayers. Banks grew larger. The system didn't change. Profits remained private. Losses were socialized. A similar structure exists in pension systems. People trusted that their money would be there when they retired, but it wasn't really saved. It was spent immediately. The bill was passed on to future generations. When the population aged, the system became strained. The solution, again, was familiar. Retirement ages were raised, payments reduced, or eroded by inflation. The common factor in all these examples is this: perception. Inflation is called growth. Debt is called investment. Cuts are called reform. Language hides the truth. Complexity is a curtain. If you can't see it, you can't fight it. The conclusion is simple. These systems are not a mistake. They are designed to work this way. Coins melted in Rome. Today, bank accounts erode. The mechanism is the same. Only the language has changed. Recognizing this cycle requires a knowledge of economic history, because those who don't understand the past face the same outcomes again. History doesn't repeat exactly, but it produces similar results. That's why understanding finance is not a choice. It's a necessity. And as always, if this video gave you a new perspective, helped you see connections you hadn't noticed, subscribe to the channel. These videos exist not for noise, but to remind you. See you in the next video.